We went floating down the river for 4.5 hours. It was a grand time.
Intentionally?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, he was
You
crying.
weren't stranded.
No, we weren't stranded, but he was crying because he wished we were on the river for a lot longer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, so where is back home?
I live a little bit above Greensboro, so I was in Rockingham County. We were floating down the Dan River, and it was a beautiful sight the whole time. And with that cold water and that hot sun, you just can't beat it. You can't.
Nice. All right. Well, I hope everybody had an opportunity to hang out with the dad this weekend, show him how much he is appreciated. It is, as a dad myself, it's always appreciated when we feel appreciated. So.
And as as a dad, I feel the urge to say, "Will somebody turn the air conditioner on?"
It is very musty here in the Ingalls studio.
It is 413 degrees, and I'm getting cantankerous.
It's very warm, very warm. I got to spend some time this weekend. Went and played some poker on Saturday night with some buddies of mine.
How'd that end for you?
Fun. I finished just outside of the money, but not too bad. They're going to allow me to come back since I didn't win the first night out.
It's always a bad sign when they invite you back quickly. Hey, this guy loves to give us his monies.
You didn't win, but you can come back next time.
But you didn't alienate yourself either. So
no, it was a good time, and then on Sunday being able to sit down and here's the thing I was talking at the poker table with the guys, like this is when I know I'm old. Like I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's Father's Day, just lazing out, not really doing a whole lot, and watching golf. That's how I know I'm old. And that's exactly what I did. U.S. Open was pretty interesting down to the end, but there again, it's Rory doing that thing he does.
Well, I feel like we're to the point with Rory. Is he ever going to win another major?
Yes.
Are we sure?
No, we're not sure. You're never sure about anybody, but you can't count the guy out.
He's becoming the great Sasquatch of golfers. You tell me how great he is. He's around, he's adjacent, but he never wins.
Right.
And instead we get Wyndham Clark. Thank you for giving me a winner whose name is impossible to spell. So I am dumbfounded that you were locked in.
I was.
Because I wasn't.
Really?
No. This was like the perfect blend of things that could happen in the U.S. Open for me to just go, I'm watching it. I'm keeping up with it. I'm not locked in. Mm-hmm. We were grilling steaks. Happy Father's Day to my dad.
Yeah.
I made a little steak. He burned a steak for the first time. I think it is adult life. It is just
over or under 7.5 curse words were said.
Oh, that was way over. We had 7.5 before he turned the fire off. But I thought you were going to say over under number of times you heard, I can't believe I burnt a steak, and it would have also been over 7.5 times.
Nice.
I ate every last one of them. It didn't matter.
No.
But I couldn't get emotionally invested. I thought Wyndham Clark would fall apart as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew going into Sunday, I told Brian Haynes, he was like, well, it'd be great if Ricky Fowler wins. My exact response, he won't.
He won't.
And weird, he did the exact thing that I thought he would do.
Mm-hmm.
This was of all the majors. I didn't think he would make it through the weekend.
See, I didn't think he'd make it through the third day being the leader.
And it really didn't captivate me the way I wanted it to. I felt like golf, and I still feel this way. I feel like golf's headed in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, for whatever reason, it didn't move me. And I'm a little shocked that it did you.
I mean, it was entertaining down to the end. You're waiting to see if Rory's actually going to be able to make a birdie, and he didn't the entire day except for, the first hole? Or the second hole or
something like that.
It was early. It was early in the day. He hit a birdie, and that was the only one he hit all day. I think it was on the par 5, on the first par 5.
I mean, and the crazy thing is you had names. You had Xander Schauffele and Tommy Fleetwood,
mm-hmm.
and I never could
get invested.
Well, for the U.S. Open, I either want to see one of two things. The scoring's too high. I don't want to see a 10-under winner. I really don't. I mean, I don't want to see it to be 4 over either. But when they come out and just absolutely obliterate the course, you have 2 62s on the first day. Okay, you've already lost half of my interest in day one. Mm-hmm. Then you get this course that I know virtually nothing about. And it just didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me. And maybe it's because Wyndham Clark won it. You said that was a name I'd never even heard. I knew who he was.
I had never heard that name before this past
I had
weekend.
0 U.S. doubloons on him.
I mean, I'm sure at some point, watching some of the coverage, his name was mentioned at some point. But yeah, I had no clue who he was.
And that certainly has an effect.
Of course it does.
And maybe it was because, this was the week that I start focusing on the NBA draft.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. I did a slew of interviews this morning starting about, I think we started at about 7:30. Mm-hmm. I got a little later start than I was supposed to. I already hate this class, and we haven't even started the draft yet.
It's a 3-man draft, right? I mean, after that, it's all just
a weird way.
Coin.
It's a weird way to say 1.5, but okay.
Well, I mean, Victor, Brandon, and Scoot.
And Scoot.
After that,
tell me your draft is really lacking star power when the third best player in it is named Scoot.
I'm sure he's a hell of a player.
Oh yeah, he couldn't defend a desk lamp, but he's fine.
Well, I mean, it's most players these days.
But I mean, it's tough when I'm more invested. And I love majors golf, but I'm more invested in Draymond Green and Bradley Beal, and
I just can't believe that you weren't. I guess it's because you had no faith that Rory was going to be able to pull it off.
I never even thought about Rory. I thought it was going to be Scotty Scheffler.
That was the interest. The interest was, let's see if Rory can do this. This is a fun story with this Wyndham Clark guy, but let's see if Rory can finally win.
I've become resigned to Rory. He will be in contention, but he won't win. I never thought about him for a second. Now, I will say I was pretty heavily invested in Scotty Scheffler going into about halfway through the third day. Mm-hmm. That was where I went, okay, Scotty Scheffler is positioning himself to do that thing that he does, and then Tommy Fleetwood had the day 4 that I was expecting Scotty Scheffler to have.
Right.
So it was fine. Didn't move me the way I wanted it to.
Interesting.
Which usually means the Open Championship will exceed my expectations and much.
Now, when
more.
Is that?
I don't know the date off the top of my head.
Coming up like next month or something?
It is next month sometime, but I don't remember the date.
It's always in July-ish.
Yeah, I don't.
July 16th.
There you go, July 16th.
There we go.
So we're a month away. See, this is what happened. Having the kid in the building helps.
Having the kid in the building helps with a lot of things. We're getting a lot of he doesn't look like I expected. My wife even said that. She never, Jake.
Oh.
She never gets to see the live stream. She listens to it in the car in the third hour on the way home. And I showed her the new setup and how we're all on camera and all the things. And I was so proud of it. And instead of saying, oh, it was really good, she goes, that is not what I thought that kid looked like at all.
See, I don't know if I should take that as a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't either. Honestly, I don't know either, Jake. But I will tell you this: my wife saw the stream from last week, and she wanted to know how far Adam Morrison had fallen.
Oh,
I kid you not. She looked at me. She said, when did y'all hire Adam Morrison? And I went,
I'm actually more shocked that she knew who Adam Morrison was.
Kudos for you remembering the name, honey. But you do have that Adam Morrison vibe going.
He has a bowl cut, okay?
He didn't
know. Like when he was at Gonzaga, he had the long hair as well with the mustache.
I had not.
Although your mustache superior to Adam Morrison.
His mustache, Adam Morrison's mustache looked like, it was like the little engine that could. It thought it could, but it couldn't. But now that you've said that, I'm never going to see anything else.
Nope. No.
Now I got it's like a combination of Gardner Minshew and Adam Morrison and what you would think the bassist for Creed would look like.
Oh my goodness. See, I respect.
Go ahead.
I respect the Gardner Minshew call. Yeah.
Well, you said you didn't know whether you should take that as a compliment or not. I can't answer that for you.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, nobody that I have ever met that listens to the show has ever looked at me and said, you don't look exactly how I thought you looked. So that's probably a good thing because I look like a big hobo. So it's probably a positive thing.
I got you.
Possibly.
The greatest example of the face doesn't match the name is Randy Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He does not look how he sounds.
He did back in the day.
Oh, I'm sure he
back
did.
in the day, I mean, back in the 1970s when he was, when he was the evening DJ or whatever. Yeah, he had that look.
I just want Randy Houston to narrate my life. Like every time I go to the grocery store, it'd be better if I was thinking this is, I need to pick up some mayonnaise, some tomatoes.
Right. It's number 1, Morgan Freeman. Number 2,
James Spader would be mine.
Oh yeah, James
Spader. If anybody's going to narrate my life, that's who I would choose.
Mm-hmm. Liev Schreiber, of course. The
he's on
NFL
Hard
films.
Knocks, and I can't differentiate that. That crappy show that we need to just tap out on.
Oh, you only say that because you know your team's going to be made to do it this year.
I want my team to do it. I would love the access. I just know that they're fighting it with every, just tooth and nail with everything they've got.
I was gonna say, why do you hate Liev Schreiber?
I don't hate him. It's just I associate him with that. So
Randy's probably 3 on the list.
he's very high up there.
He's very high on the list of possible inner monologue voiceovers.
You know who's not top 3? I'm going to try my hand at a segue.
Oh.
The Phoenix Suns. I have heard this until I am physically nauseated. So after the break, I am going to tell you why this is the definition of insanity.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
You might not know this, but the Ingalls Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things. Really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer?
I'm Sam Mewis.
And I'm Lynn Williams.
And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of snacks.
It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you.
You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Pool season is here, but open roles got you underwater? Check out Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hogue, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before." Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset you need to own the day. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at your local retailer today.
The Sportsocracy. Gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The big trade made over the weekend. The Phoenix Suns are getting Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards. And I don't hate this deal as much as you do, Jeremy.
Okay, explain it to me.
Well, I mean, if you just look at it, I would 100 times out of 100 trade Chris Paul for Bradley Beal.
Oh, I have no problem with what they gave up. That should tell you everything you need to know. Oh, well, he has a no-trade clause, so he could do what... Or they could have sat on him. That's the part that nobody seems to be... They didn't have to trade him. They took the salary cap relief from cutting a buyout with Chris Paul because he will not play 1 second in Washington.
Right.
And a couple second-round picks and Landry Shamet and a pick swap. By the way, the Los Angeles Rams are looking at the Phoenix Suns going, man, they really should hold on to a draft pick. We've done this, and it doesn't go fun. It doesn't go fun. Just know that. I hate this deal with every fiber of myself.
Really?
Let me count the ways. 1, Devin Booker is now your only point guard. But Cameron Payne.
Mm-hmm.
I said what I said, and I meant what I said. Also, you just hedged your bets on a 32-year-old Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, who ain't much younger than me. And I think I sprained a rib or something the other day brushing my teeth. Well, I'm not saying we're in equal athletic physical shape. I'm just saying Kevin Durant could use a cheeseburger, and he's already had injury issues in the past.
Are you blowing his age up because of the injury issues? Because he's only 29.
Who?
Bradley Beal is only 29.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's been in the league for 11 years, but he's only 29 years old.
Okay.
So
I thought he was older than he is. But.
So he's under 30, and I get that he's oft injured.
And he's regressing badly.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tough year.
Analytically, he was not a top 50 player in this league.
Mm-hmm.
So now, but let's just say, just for argument's sake, let's say he reverts back to the player that he was 2 years ago.
Okay.
What do you do when he sits down? You've got 4 stars, and I'm using that super liberally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am being super generous, almost as generous as the federal government was to Hunter Biden. Where's my bell?
Yikes.
Told you I was going to get that in. Meant to do it in the first segment, but I failed today. I'm being super generous on DeAndre Ayton. Because he's not a great player. He's top 100 in the league. You have nothing outside of this. And the new tax rules in the NBA, you're filling this roster with second-round picks. You mark my words, they'll buy at least 2 on Thursday. A slew of second-round picks and mediocre veterans that'll take the minimum. Mm-hmm. Is that better than Denver?
No.
Not even close. Is it better than fully healthy Memphis?
No.
Not even close. Is it better than fully healthy Los Angeles Lakers? Not even close.
Really?
Not even close. Okay. Because they go to their bench, and their bench is going to annihilate you.
Mm-hmm.
They can do hockey shifts and still just annihilate you. Rui Hachimura would be the 5th best player on this team. He's probably the 3rd guy off the bench for the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at this going, okay, cool. So Matt Ishbia has come in here. It really bothers me how close he is with Isaiah Thomas. And this reminds me. I knew this reminded me of something, And then Chris Paul was on with Michael Strahan promoting a book and said Isaiah Thomas's name twice.
Right.
And I went, there it is. I knew I had seen this before. This was what Isaiah Thomas did to the Toronto Raptors. I don't care about tomorrow. Well, let's go all in on today. Mm-hmm. You know what that leads to? 10 years of complete and utter irrelevance.
After. Right.
I think during.
Really?
Do you remember how just absolutely dead set I was that the Nets weren't going to work?
Yeah.
Do you remember why?
Too many ball-dominant players.
Name me the last time you had 3 players that were it was a necessity that they were the ball stopper that worked. You name me the player on this team that's a pass-first guy. Oh, wait, there's not one.
Cameron Payne.
Cameron Payne's not actually on this roster. They're going to have to re-sign him because he's a free agent. Yeah. And he's about to get paid. And you're in that second tier of the tax calendar. It's to me, it's a complete disaster. I laughed audibly.
Just complete
when
disaster.
I saw they were the team that fell on the Bradley Beal grenade, I laughed out loud. And I'm not saying he's not a good player. I would have liked him markedly better in Miami. And I absolutely hate that Phoenix has not learned the lesson that so many teams have failed to learn before. You remember that Lakers team after they won the title in the bubble, and then they tried to let the good times roll, and they filled that roster with old dudes? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you remember how well that went? Oh, yeah, didn't even make the playoffs.
This is how you view the Bradley Beal side.
I told you before this show happened, I will bet you any amount of money they do not host a playoff series. Not one. They will not be a top 4 seed the entire time they have these guys together. I would go one step further and say I won't be shocked if they end up in the play-in tournament because this combination doesn't make any sense. And this strikes me as what would happen if you gave a 6-year-old a checkbook. Mm-hmm. Oh, I want 84 pounds of candy. Who cares? Where's the money coming from? Nobody cares.
Right.
Let's seize the day.
Well, I mean, you were, Mr. Flostradamus throwing out. Remember when the Brooklyn had their big 3, and he said that wasn't going to work, and his team wasn't going to be any good. Well, they didn't win anything.
They weren't any good. You got to the Eastern Conference Finals, lost once, and the team exploded within 2 years. Mm-hmm. Look at the Brooklyn Nets now. Phoenix should pray they're that lucky. They should absolutely pray that they are lucky enough that they can move off Devin Booker 3 years from now and recoup enough assets to not be a G League team.
Okay.
Andrew Anderson, I'm going a little far. I'm really not because see, this is the thing that blows my mind in the NBA. We fail to do this time after time after time after time. How many minutes do you think these guys are going to play? All right, Beal's. You're right. He's 29, but he's going into his 12th year in the league. Mm-hmm. Kevin Durant's been in this league a real long time. How many minutes a game do you think these guys are going to play?
They're going to have to average 33 at least.
All right, so it's 33. Let's say all 4 guys average 33 minutes. Do you understand that means there's 15 minutes a game where you're playing 2 guys that should be in the G League? Yep. Did we not just watch the same thing happen? And you just gave away one of your rotational players. So now it's almost like Phoenix just looks at this and puts their fingers in their ears and goes, well, never going to learn the lesson. Never going to learn the lesson. Who just won the NBA title?
The Denver Nuggets.
Why did they absolutely run the Suns off the floor? And I told you they were going to do it before they did it.
Why?
It's not Nikola Jokic. Jokic was great. They had no solution for him. But as soon as the reserves go in, you're playing those guys off the bench. The reserves were going plus 20 every single night. Do you realize how good your starters have to be? If the minute they sit down, they know they're already down 10. Mm-hmm. And trust me, that gets into your head. Of I cannot sit down because no matter what I do, the minute I do, it's going to come right back around. Ayers asked, didn't the Suns beat them twice? They beat them once and got run off the floor 3 other times. Mm-hmm. To me, this is not close. I mean, I'm just looking at this going, okay, this will be fun to play with on 2K because you got a bunch of dudes that can shoot. You don't have anybody that can play defense. Devin Booker's not good defending at the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the goal. The goal is not to play defense. The goal is to outscore your opponent. Well, it's obvious what Phoenix is doing here.
This is Matt Ishbia doing the exact same thing that we watch David Tepper do, the same thing we watch Steve Ballmer do, the same thing that we watch a ton of these owners do. They're so impatient because I have to win right now. I will take whatever it is that I feel like makes us more relevant. and you don't listen to the basketball people. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I just sent a couple texts. I've been doing NBA draft prep, so there's really only 1 week a year where I'm an NBA draft guy. So I talked to a lot of people around this league. Mm-hmm. I've asked every single one of them, do you like this trade in any way? I've gotten one person that said yes. And you know why they said that to me?
Why?
Verbatim, because the West sucks. That was all I got. Ja's missing 25 games. Mm-hmm. The Nuggets are really good. I know what they are, but the Lakers are old. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Dallas is going to look like with Kyrie and Luka. They went down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Don't know that OKC is there yet. Don't know that Minnesota's there yet. Okay. All right. So you're trying to carve your way into an opening that the West has provided you right now. But what happens after that? You're treating Devin Booker like he's 30 years old. He's not. Mm-hmm. That's the guy you're building the franchise around. Now, in the course of, he's on this team for 6 months? You have completely obliterated this entire roster for 4 high-end guys, again, using that very liberally. Mm-hmm. And I just don't understand. I can't fathom how any NBA person is looking at that going, yeah, we're going to win a championship with that.
Let's just say everything goes to plan and there's no injuries. What is your ceiling on Phoenix?
5. They're the 5 in the West.
Really?
They're the 5 in the West. And that's assuming that OKC doesn't develop as quickly as I think they do. Mm-hmm. Because I'll be honest with you, I look at their roster right now, and they have 3 picks in this draft. Their roster is better than Phoenix's right now. 1-4, it's not. 1-9, it is. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's all that close. Now, Andrew Ayers has a really good point. Trade DeAndre Ayton. The problem is that when you paid him and you match that deal that desperate Indiana gave him, nobody wants him. They've already called Indiana, hey, could we maybe do that Miles Turner, Buddy Hield deal? And you know what they heard? Dial tone. Mm-hmm. Because you have an old school back to the basket center that's making $30+ million a year. And you don't have any picks to sweeten this.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Those four guys could be successful if you had anything. You cannot sweeten a deal with anything. These are the only 4 guys under contract on this team. They will re-sign Monty Morris, and they probably will re-sign Cameron Payne. Mm-hmm. But then you look into because I keep hearing this of, well, they'll go into the veteran market and find, what veteran wants to play with 3 dudes who never pass the ball to anyone?
So I can be the star on the second team. So I can be the guy that bridges the gap to the greatest show on.
You'll have 2 of these guys on the floor at all times because you can't do anything else.
Yeah.
You can't, which means they're not going to play as much together as you want them to.
Well, they didn't play together this past year.
And God forbid that when you get to the Bradley Beal, DeAndre Ayton rotation, shoo, buddy, you just put your hands in your pockets and wish for the best,
right?
Because that's the best you got.
I feel like you're doing that thing where it's not going to lead to a championship, so it's just this isn't going to work. I mean, they will be a playoff contender. They're still a playoff contender, and things go their way, they could end up in the conference championship, and
But is that a
maybe
win?
if there's an injury?
But is that a win?
Who knows? We might be able to win a title.
But is that a win?
These guys.
You had a roster that was title worthy 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You have completely blown it up.
Well, I mean, Chris Paul was never going to be that guy.
And I get that. I have no problem that they shipped out Chris Paul.
And
where my problem comes in is that you're taking on another bad contract. Bradley Beal's the worst contract in the NBA. I mean, you realize he's going to be the second highest paid player in the league next year at 30 years old.
But the question for me is, what's the alternative? What could they have done? Who could they have brought in that would have moved the needle?
And I think this gets into I think this almost gets into the same argument that we had about Zion Williamson with the Hornets. I can't tell you that there was a guy that was going to fix this solution. Here's what I can tell you just did. You threw shut the championship window. This team is not winning a championship under any circumstances. It's just not. I am as confident about that as I was with the Nets, and as confident as I was on the positive side with the Nuggets. Mm. Weird. That's 2 wins for me. So, scoreboard. But the thing that would terrify me, you have no draft picks. You have no draft picks. This is a 3-year window, and the Nets control your assets for years. Mm-hmm. So you're going to end up bad at some point, and you have nothing to rebuild the team. So you're going to make 2 to 3 runs at being a 4 or a 5 seed to get absolutely obliterated by the Nuggets or the Grizzlies if they can get their situations in line, the Thunder if they hit on all of these guys. And then what happens? For 5 years, you are the same irrelevant team that the Brooklyn Nets are, and you just watched this with the same star player a year ago, and you just could not wait to do it yourself. It's poor management. It's on Matt Ishbia. It's on anybody that allowed this to happen. And if Isaiah Thomas is the one pulling the strings, you are every bit as stupid as I think you are.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flash flood watch continues all the way into Thursday. Juicy weather pattern for the start of summertime. Much of western North Carolina under flood watches here into the midweek forecast. Mid-60s for tonight with slow-moving downpours and thunderstorms. Quite capable of dumping half-inch to 1-inch rainfall totals. More thunderstorms Wednesday, high 67, and thunderstorms Thursday with a high of 70. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Verizon. Ready to take control of your phone plan? Well, then you better take that next turn to a Verizon store. Because my plan from Verizon is the kind of control we all deserve. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. Get my plan at your Verizon store today.
Meet Joe A, Hi. Joe B, Hello. And Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
MSNBC is going to be live here all night.
Today's news requires more facts.
U.S. officials say that Russia approved the actions taken by Russian pilots.
More analysis.
Our gun violence epidemic is something no other wealthy country has.
And more perspective.
This is not just about women and pregnant people in Texas. This is about people across this country.
The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
The free iHeartRadio app covers the sports teams you love like no one else. Catch the latest breaking news from national to almost every local sports station in the country. Plus, don't miss the NBA draft this Thursday. Make the iHeart app your go-to to stay up to date on all things in the sports world. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch. Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Coming up this Thursday. We will not have a show on Thursday. Just wanted to throw that out there. Programming, no show on Thursday.
But my very quick NBA first-round mock draft, that will be coming out Thursday. For those of you that care. I'm going to make a lot of jokes. It will be uncensored, and it will be really funny.
NBA draft on Thursday night, and Jeremy, you said you've been doing your research, doing your deep dive on the players.
It's much like every other NBA draft. I get to I mean, Wembanyama's special.
Mm-hmm.
The other two they could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into a whole lot of close your eyes, throw a dart, and pray it lands on bullseye.
What are your thoughts on Jordan Haber?
Who?
Jordan Haber.
That's a new one.
Yep. Jordan Haber is officially entered into the 2023 NBA draft. And the reason Jeremy doesn't know who he is not because Jeremy doesn't watch enough basketball or because Jeremy just, has been ignoring certain prospects. No, it's because none of us, other than his classmates, have ever seen Jordan Haber play basketball. He's 21 years old. He has just graduated from college, graduating from Stanford.
So we'll say he's a smart kid.
He's a very smart kid. And what do smart kids do? They find loopholes in rules.
Oh, boy.
Jordan Haber has officially entered the 2023 NBA draft despite never playing high school basketball, never playing college basketball, never playing professionally anywhere, only having ever played in intramurals on campus. But he read through the official rules of the NBA draft, and they state that you must be 19 years old, that you must have, that you're eligible if you graduated from a 4-year U.S. university, and that's it.
But what's the benefit?
That's technically all of the rules.
But what's the benefit?
I don't know. Not sure what the benefit is, but he's really excited about the experience coming up.
What experience? It's not like they're inviting him in the green
He's
room.
going to the draft.
No way.
He wrote to the NBA, put his name in the pot. He has been accepted. I don't know if he's getting special access as a draftee. Like, can anybody in the draft pool, you get special access? Can you go back?
You can sit in a seat like a fan. I mean, if you want to go to the draft, but
can you go mingle backstage with people? Can you, if you're in the draft, maybe he's got clearance.
You don't get access to any of that.
He seems very excited about this. He thinks he's going to have all of this access. He says he has gotten his official package from the NBA. He is officially in the draft pool. And he says when the moment comes on Thursday night and he steps into the arena, where are they having this? Where is it?
Barclays Center?
In the Barclays
it's in Brooklyn.
So he said when I go into the Barclays Center, I'm sure I'm just going to feel all of the emotions about the potential that this night could bring.
So,
dude, you realize this isn't like the NBA lottery. Like, when they get to the end, they don't just put names in a ping pong machine and go, oh, guess what, Jordan Haber, congratulations. You just got drafted number 58 overall. No!
What did you... All right. So, first of all, what did you say this kid's name was?
Jordan Haber.
I have a message for him.
Well, I'm here to tell you that you're probably going to find out as you go out there that you're not going to amount to jack squat.
That's A. B, I genuinely have to say, I have more respect for the kid that went to the draft a few years ago and then went clubbing and told people that he had just gotten drafted by the Denver Nuggets because he was like 6'14", and so people just bought it. I have more respect for that kid than this troll job of, I'm going to sit in the crowd and it'll be an experience. No, you're dumb. You buy a ticket for $6.
His final quote in the news story here on his eligibility and, I guess he's in the pool. He just said, I wanted to do it so I could show people that you can do anything if you just set your mind to it.
And I'm here to tell you.
I am 35 years old. I am divorced. And I live in a van down by the river.
There you go. If you'd like to know what your future looks like, I feel like it's a lot closer to that than playing in the NBA. Now, for other people who perturb me, and this one might come as a shock, the biggest troll of all over this last 4-day weekend since we last spoke with you is none other than my starting quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Did you know he has a little side business? Either of you know that? Getting no response. I got nothing. I've asked the question twice. Did you know Aaron Rodgers has a side business?
No.
Okay. It's called the Online Sports Database, and he found it with Ryan Rotman.
Okay.
They have raised $4 million. Would you like to guess what this is? The Online Sports Database. What would you think that is?
Ooh, this is the tabulation of all of the illegal drugs that football players do.
No, but Aaron Rodgers' page on that would be quite significant.
Indeed.
This is an IMDb for athletes.
Oh, so what games did you appear in?
Which basically is like, don't we already have that? It's called Wikipedia or Pro Football Reference or one of the slew of other places that you can see things like this.
Like an IMDb.
But that's not what I'm perturbed about.
He once starred in Thursday Night Football on October 17th, 2012.
It was between the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts, and 11 people watched it without a beer in their hand. But that's not what's rubbing me the wrong way. They have started a crowdsourcing campaign to come up with another $1.5 million. So, allow me to hit the high points here. They've raised $4 million for something that I think would need about $19 to get off the ground, because that's what Squarespace costs. Now they're asking for another $1.5 million. Do you know how much money Aaron Rodgers has made in his career? It's $300 million. Stop asking for people. If you want to finance this stupid project, you do it yourself.
No, I have millions
drink
of
your
dollars.
ayahuasca tea and do your what I can only imagine was conspired when you were not in 100% the right state of mind.
No, I have millions of dollars. I'm not investing my money in that because, as you said, this is stupid.
So basically, what you're telling me is that Aaron Rodgers has officially become the houseless person, as we refer to them here in Asheville, of the NFL. Going, would you put some change in my cup? And you've got $300 million. Aaron, I will see you in just not that many days. But I am, okay, I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. Thought you were better than that.
Thought you were better than that.
I'm not upset.
Hey, how do you think the rich stay rich? They get other people to pay for their stupid ideas. I'm still not even sure I'm grasping this whole sports BDSM thing. What is this?
Time out.
Nope. Nope, that's the wrong acronym.
IMDb. That's what I meant to say.
Yep, that was the wrong acronym that you just did. I don't either.
ASMR? What?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really get it myself. It's an IMDb, so I guess it's going to be a catalog of all the things that players did in their professional careers. But here's the thing I don't understand. Why does that cost $5.5 million? I'll do it for you for like half of that. Okay? Like, I'll do it for you. You don't have to do anything. You just give me the money, and I will make sure that it's created for you.
$2 million, and Jeremy says he will sit in front of the computer and update all of that for you.
Correct. Or I'll farm it out to at the intern Jake.
Which is the more likely scenario, is where baby Adam Morrison gets to do the work.
Oh my!
That's
so it's just hate on Jake Day.
Oh,
is that what it is?
No, we're never hating on Jake. You're part of the group now. We just get,
yeah.
I mean,
here's the thing: I've only had him to make jokes at for 5 years, because frankly, Nay scared me a little bit because he played in the NFL. So this is the only time I've ever been able to take the attention off my IMDb credentialed friend here and put it on somebody else.
True.
Speaking of that, I had an idea, and I want to hear the group's thoughts on the idea.
Okay.
So we are, now that we have at the intern Jake, which is his new handle on Twitter, so all of you that follow us can go follow him. I've always wanted to do calls and things to make it more interactive so the listeners of this show could get it directly in touch with us. We've never been able to do that because it's just the two of us. Well, I've been trying to figure out what our shtick could be. You know, Dan Patrick does the height and weight thing with 6'2", a firm 195, and every time somebody says that, I go, that it's 240 minimum.
240.
You say you're a firm 195, yeah, I'll bet you're not. Yeah, I'm a firm 255. I stepped on a scale. Secret time? I'm not.
No shock.
So I came up with one that I thought would be really funny. So we already have the House of Reprehensibles. So your name is reprehensible in whatever your last name is.
Okay.
What if, when people made their calls to this here program, which you'll be able to do here in just in just a few short weeks, what if they, instead of their height and weight or whatever all these other shows do, they opened up with their greatest athletic achievement? Like mine would be I scored 6 points on Steph Curry.
Nice.
Tank's would be
yep,
not applicable. He played a goalie.
I got a letter for showing up to all the track meets.
He played a goalie in a movie with all the kids from the Mighty Ducks. He was Mighty Duck adjacent. And he would probably have been in that movie if he could skate.
That's fair.
Jake, what would your greatest athletic achievement be?
You know, there's actually a couple. I'd say my freshman year of high school, I had 18 and 15 in the national semis down in Myrtle Beach. And so that was a pretty good accomplishment.
Nice.
Oh, if we're going highest time that I went Team Gets Mine, I'm going to have to make some calls. I do specifically remember shooting over 30 times in one game.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Card-carrying captain Team Gets Mine. Where do you think I came up with that? And that was created on the back of these shoulders because I was the original.
I was just just grab some boards, fall on the ground, take charges type of guy. So.
I played basketball for 15 solid years. I don't think I ever took a charge.
Really?
I don't think I ever took one.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. No, you know what was fun? Scoring. That was what I liked doing. I also think I went like 2 years without an assist. I was the stereotypical what you would call ball stopper.
Nice.
That's where the offense goes to die.
It's not bad.
But I think it's an interesting concept.
Not a bad idea.
Because you know how much I hate I know things because I played in the NFL or I heard LeVar Arrington say this the other day. Stop telling people you played. All right, because we don't care. Like straight up, don't care at all. Because anybody that ever says I played, and the high end of that was what? I made it to the NBA, but I tore my knee up. Mm-hmm. Yep, I've heard that no less than 20,000 times.
Please don't start throwing shit.
Sounds like Uncle
Arrington here.
No. I was agreeing with it. He was the one that said it.
Okay.
Because I guess somebody had come up to him and said, well, I played a little football in my day, and I made it to the NFL, but, the old knee.
Oh, did you?
And he's looking at this dude, and he was built like Tank. Like, you'd have made it to the NFL if that acronym stood not for National Football League. You'd have had a shot.
Right. And LeVar looked at him and said, true or false, I would have Terry Tate off his linebacker to your ass every week.
If NFL stood for unlimited foot-long hot dogs, then you'd have had a shot.
So greatest athletic achievement. That could be something.
I think that would be
Trump's
fun.
already said, hell, he played AAU with Kobe Bryant or on the same floor as Kobe Bryant.
Oh, I had a lot of those, but that's a good one. Stephen Tao said he once hit a bullseye at Topgolf. I almost yelled at D'Angelo Williams at a Topgolf one time.
My greatest athletic achievement was not running into Chris Birdman Anderson in the tunnel at a Hornets game.
Oh,
that was my greatest athletic achievement.
That is one of the funnier stories you'll ever hear. Tank was almost on the news for all the wrong reasons.
I was, because that was not going to be a pretty collision.
No.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's got bangers coming up next.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
You might not know this, but the Ingalls Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things, really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with autosave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Coffee store closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
A wise man once told me, always know your limitations. Well, apparently college baseball is a limitation of mine because I should have hopped on the Wake Forest bandwagon and just ridden that right to my little low-paying minus money bet. What did I do? I took Virginia. That didn't last long. Took TCU. Whoops. And we're headed to having nobody left in the College World Series. So I'm going to stick to what I'm good at, and that's futures, and that's drafts. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingalls Markets. Low prices, love the savings. One of my favorite things to do in drafts, whether it's the NBA or the NFL, watch the betting markets because they will tell you where things are headed. And right now, it's becoming quite obvious to me how Thursday's draft is going to start. If you want to throw a $20,000 wager at Victor Wembanyama to go number one, have at it. I'm not going to do that because, well, aliens could take over the planet and somehow he doesn't go one, and you're out 20 G's to make enough for a family of 4 to eat at McDonald's. However, if you look down the lottery, something's happening. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think I know what's up. The number 2 pick has gone to minus 250 on Scoot Henderson. The Charlotte Hornets own that pick, and there's a better chance of them drafting me than Scoot Henderson, which means there's probably a trade afoot, and Zion Williamson very well may be headed back home to the Charlotte Hornets. But if you parlay that with Brandon Miller at minus 250 at 3 and realize where that leaves the Houston Rockets at 4, you can actually make a little money because obviously those two will be gone. Neither of the Thompson brothers makes sense to Houston because they're chasing James Harden. That means there's only one player left, and it's Cam Whitmore, who they just worked out and is plus 290. If you add those 3 things together, you can almost quadruple your money just by following the gambling markets. Could that change? Absolutely. Paolo Banchero was the 3rd most likely player to go number 1 last year, and what happened the day of the draft? All the money shifted, and all the people like me were sitting with a bag in their hand just going, well, I wish I had some money to put in that. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingalls. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Flash flood watch continues all the way into Thursday. Juicy weather pattern for the start of summertime. Much of western North Carolina under flood watches here into the midweek forecast. Mid-60s for tonight with slow-moving downpours and thunderstorms, quite capable of dumping half-inch to 1-inch rainfall totals. More thunderstorms Wednesday, high 67, and thunderstorms Thursday with a high of 70. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, with 24/7 PC protection against bugs, cracks, and hacks. Plans start as low as $199.99. Plus, now get up to $250 off select computers in-store only. Offer ends July 29th. See an associate for details. Protect your tech at Staples.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We are a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium